Hi everyone, this is Presley. I am the presenter in this channel. This channel is named as Hack the Hackers as it deals with the security in general life. It prevents the users being duped or cheated in the digital era. About the presenter, having 14 years of experience into information security and advanced master degree in mechanical engineering from State University of New York at Buffalo. So, we are starting this channel for all viewers who want to learn basics of information security and get relevant skills in this area for finding suitable job in this area. Though this channel we will through this channel we will also educate the viewers of on life securing information security and cyber security skills. Anyone who is beginner until expert level will find this video interesting. As well as for the users of digital era, one must know the basics of information security and secure the applications, secure assets, secure transactions, secure information, rights and privacy of data, and to know what is cyber crimes, follow the password policies, etc. There are various security challenges at various levels. As the digital and internet penetration and the spread is taking place across the world, not only in urban areas but also in the rural areas, including developing and underdeveloped countries. It is prime important to know how to secure in the digital world in cloud, IoT, AI and ML, and using mobile, in securing apps, in internet world, in using desktops and laptops, in using financial and banking transactions through various apps to avoid phishing attacks and password management, etc. Let's start the session with what is information security. Information security is a branch that ensures that the three triads of information security, such as confidentiality, integrity, and availability, is secure and enhanced. I will discuss their meaning in some other session as we are now focusing on firewall in this session. For now, understand that by enhancing information security means enhancing confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We will also talk in other videos in this channel on leadership, what it takes to become a chief information security officer, chief information officer, and data protection officer and data privacy officer, etc. In subsequent series, you will see the videos also on motivation, what it takes to perform in information security career and grow in this career. This will also address some of the key performance metrics and how to perform and what to learn, how and when to change jobs, etc. Duties. This means that roles and responsibilities in the information security career, and as you will see in the series, what are the interesting domains of information security and what it takes to build the career in various domains. We'll also address in subsequent videos about what it requires to start the career in information security, how to grow in the career. Also, let me introduce you to my ebooks published in Amazon about the Kindle version Information Security, All That You Need to Know, and paperback version World of Information Security. They are a little bit expensive, but you can start reading them for gaining experience in information security field without going to job. As you will see, the firewall sits between the remote host and the host in the private network. Typically in the network diagram, the firewall is represented by a fire and a wall symbol. So that is a firewall in the network diagram. So what is a firewall? Firewall is a device or a software that controls the genuine traffic and malicious traffic that is going in and out of private network to the internet by allowing the genuine traffic and by blocking the malicious traffic. It can be a hardware or just a software, just like Windows Firewall that you have in if you have Windows OS. In this slide, we are talking about what is the function of firewall and various types of firewall, such as stateful inspection firewall, proxy also known as application level firewall, next gen firewall also known as NGFW, circuit level firewall, packet filtering firewall. Let us start by understanding what is stateful inspection firewall. You already know what is a firewall. Now the important thing is the information is sent from the host and received in another host and vice versa in the forms of packets that contain headers, information or data, and then footers. Headers contain information as IP addresses, usually source and destination, packet size, start of the information tag. The footers usually contain information about close for the information packet and the same size. These are required to route the information properly to the destination and to know if the packet is complete, and to do handshake between the senders and the receiver's host. Host is nothing but the device which sends the information and receives the information. In stateful inspection firewall is a firewall that only inspects the packets for genuineness by checking the information size and IP addresses. It also checks the packet and the network session and the established TCP connection. If any changes to the packets and connection, it will discard the packets. For example, if TCP is the stateful connection, then you have sync, acknowledgement, finish and reset. So these are the stateful connection packets, headers and footers. The advantages. First, it does not allow the protocol vulnerabilities such as vulnerability in TCP, IP, SSH, VoIP, FTP, UDP, HTTP and HTTPS. Second, you can safely operate with this firewall with fewer known open ports and block unknown and insecure ports. Third, since it examines the network session and established connection, it can prevent the denial of service attack. What are the disadvantages? Basically, it examines the packets and connection. It has lot of processing overheads. It makes the transmission little slow. This type of firewall requires skilled engineers to configure this type of firewall. Not suitable for authenticated connections, that is connection established with username and password using VPN or MPLS. Cannot prevent stateful attacks such as sniffing, eavesdropping and DDoS. So let us see what is packet filtering firewall. This firewall is a basic firewall type which only examines the packets of information such as IP address, connection ports, packet types and packet headers. If the packets are not genuine, the packets are for that connection, then the connection is dropped. Advantages: only filtering with respect to packet headers and there are no processing overheads. Disadvantages: it does not prevent spoofing attack and session hijacking as the connection is not checked, like stateful inspection firewall. Need highly technical engineers to configure and maintain it. Since it is a basic firewall, there are no logging facility. Moreover, the processing of the firewall is not done at the application layers. Now coming to circuit level filtering firewall. This type of firewall does not inspect the packet but monitors the connections so that there are no spoofing attacks and session hijacking. Advantages of circuit level filtering firewall: it establishes a monitoring of the secure connection and thus privacy is maintained. This firewall costs less and this is easy to maintain. Disadvantages: as it does not inspect the packets, the connection level filtering, circuit level filtering is not there, content level filtering is not there. Second disadvantages is that it requires modification to the network protocol stack. Proxy, or also known as application level gateway. This type of firewall is called as proxy firewall and also known as application level gateway. It deals with the application layer, that is layer 7 of OSI. OSI is nothing but open standard interface. It combines the packet level filtering, circuit level gateway with the destination port connection and HTTP request string. Advantages: does not allow the internal private network details to be displayed outside the network in the internet. It establishes a connection to the remote host once found to be genuine. It provides a connection to the private host. It also able to block the attack that are visible in the transport layer firewall and other layers of OSI. Disadvantages. It is highly it highly makes the speed very slow because of the highly processing overhead. They are also complex to configure and maintain. Finally, of this type of firewall, the proxy needs to be set up for every network application in use. Okay, the next generation firewall or NGFW. This type of firewall contains lot of features such as stateful inspection, deep packet inspection, advanced prevention, extraction capabilities, VPN, sandblasting, IDS, IPS, malware and antivirus protection, AD authentication of the user connection, etc. The firewall is that is why called the next generation firewall. Advantages: it monitors the firewall traffic from layer 2 of the OSI, that is data link layer, till application layer, that is layer 7 of the OSI model. Has got lot of features. One of the features that I told you is sandblasting. What is sandblasting? It is a technique of exploding the malicious contents in the secure area so that it does not affect the private network. Disadvantages. One of the greatest disadvantages in this is the single point of failure, as all the features will cease to exist if there is a problem in one of the area and complete firewall is ineffective. It is very expensive and is suitable only for large organizations. There is high latency in the network because of it process intensive. Thus very complex to configure and maintain and very need very skilled resources also. Why do we need firewall? As we know that there are attacks and threats from both internal and external networks. To avoid malicious traffic from getting into the private network, we need firewall. Remember one important thing, that whether you are using home or office laptop or desktops, you need firewall. We recommend all the users to enable the Windows firewall in their Windows devices. This prevents lot of attacks and malicious traffic. Firewall is the first line of defense, that is, it prevents the attacks at the perimeter level of the network. Firewall must always be placed at the perimeter of the network so that the private network is not exposed to the attacks and threats. Based on the functions, that is where the firewall is placed, it has different names such as core firewall, gateway level firewall or perimeter firewall, web application firewall, desktop or endpoint firewall. The core firewall prevents the server's farm from being exposed to the outside network. It is required even if the server farm are exposed to LAN users so that it prevents internal threats. Perimeter firewall, as we have discussed, is the firewall at the network gateway or the perimeter. Web application firewall is placed in the beginning of the DMZ, that is demilitarized zone, where the web applications and the email relays are kept. Desktop or endpoint firewall is a local firewall in every endpoint devices such as laptops or desktops. For example, Windows firewall. Now let us see some of the best practices in the configuration and audit of the firewall security. Firstly, ensure that your IP addresses are hard-coded in the firewall rules, that is both source NATed IP and the destination IP of the remote host. Do not have any in the source and destination IPs. As much as possible, configure the known and secure ports such as port 22 for SSH, SFTP, etc. Port 25 for email, port 53 for DNS, etc. So do not use unknown ports. The services such as FTP and Telnet must be avoided. Instead, use SFTP and SSH for the applications. Use secure protocols whether needed, such as TCP, UDP for streaming data, HTTPS for the web applications, etc. Do the firewall review, rules review at least once in 6 months for each of the firewalls. Then disable or remove the unwanted rules with the help of cleanup rules. Stealth rules need to be used to prevent unauthorized access to the subsequent rules from anyone and limit the access to the administrators only. If you have IPS IDS features in the firewall, always enable them and correct the latency by the upgrading your firewall and speed, and not by disabling the IPS IDS in the firewall. Sync the firewall with the NTP or the network time protocol server so that it displaces the correct time, so that in case of failure or attacks, the time and date stamp will be helpful while doing forensics. Sometimes you need to enable particular URL in the firewall for your work purpose. Get the exception for that particular URL with the help of exception application or email, and let it be time bound. Firewall categories are set of URLs in a particular category, such as sexual contents, online games, or other sites that are normally not required to be browsed in home or office environments. The manufacturers list down many categories, and it depends on the organization to enable or disable those categories of URLs. Some of the URLs which may be found in the categories that is blocked may be required for research purposes. This enablement of the URL is called whitelisting of the URL. Similarly, a particular URL may not be blocked. This constitutes blacklisting, may need to be blocked. So this constitutes blacklisting of that URL. Any firewall must be enabled for blocking and alerting the attacks and any security incidents. Periodically review the logs with log analyzer and ensure alerts are captured in SIM for analysis and taking action. Okay, from the next session we will address the password management. Are you really secure? How to secure yourself? In case I miss anything in this session, then you may subscribe to my channel to comment, and I will clarify all your doubts. Share with your friends. Sharing is caring, and help them to learn as well. Click the bell icon and get my next video notification. Thank you. Looking forward to stay connected with you all for all the sub video series. Thanks. Bye.